What happens when one of the world's best actors teams with one of Australia's wealthiest businessmen, and together they buy a sports club that's seen better days?
If you want to play like South last year, you're not going to be in the team.
Behind the scenes.
Does that look anything like the Brown Universe to you?
You guys are going to have to piss off now.
In the locker rooms.
Can't believe we can score.
At the game.
Good start.
Two men and a team with everything to lose. This is Southside's story.
So this thing would happen, you know, quite regularly where they'd ask me for money because they knew that I was a fan of the team. And at one point I just said, you know what, I've been giving you a lot of money. However, now I don't want to give you any more money unless I can have a say, because I don't think you're running it as well as it could be run. And so with a partner, Peter Holmes of Court, now this is a public asset, folks. It's a little hard to explain here because it's not necessarily something that goes on in America, but this is a public asset that then had to go to a public vote to be taken into private enterprise. And they established that we required 75% of the vote.
On March the 19th, 2006, an extraordinary meeting of one of Australia's most famous sports clubs was held.
How you going? Any words for today? How you feeling going in, Russell?
There we go.
Actor Russell Crowe and millionaire businessman Peter Holmes of Court have offered the struggling South Sydney Rugby League a $3 million lifeline, but with a catch. They want to own the club. The choice is simple. Vote yes for privatisation, vote no for the status quo.
Still don't know who I'm voting for.
South Sydney's longest day had begun.
We want a team for the future. If this doesn't go through today, we're in all sorts of trouble.
I'm voting no. If anybody thinks that $3 million and a lot of blue sky promises is going to resolve and give South Sydney a future, but I think they must believe in the tooth fairy.
It's up to members today. It's their chance to vote on the future.
It was an intense day. It was a day of intense passion, and for people who are South people, as crazy as that might sound, it was a pivotal day in South people's life.
Just 5 minutes from Picture Postcard Sydney is a different city. Tight, blue collar, tough, no nonsense, snubbing its nose at the Silvertails to the east and the north. At the turn of last century, those who couldn't get a job on the wharves caught rabbits and sold them in the back alleys. These fast, tough men formed a football club, nicknamed the Rabbitohs. In 99 years, 33 grand final appearances, 20 of which they won. No other club comes close. This is South Sydney, where a football team was nurtured and became the pride of the blue-collar battlers.
Well, Souths are a famous club. Souths are a traditional team. Rugby league was built on Souths. They're a punters team. And there's an old saying, when Souths are going well, rugby league's going well. The reason being is because Souths represent the punters, the people. There are more punters than high flyers.
It's a working class area. It's always been a battlers area, an underdog area.
They're battlers, they're strugglers. That's the original authentic struggle street. Sport is a great way of emancipating people. So through sport, people developed an identity which otherwise wouldn't be available to them. And then, of course, because it was a pioneering team, it was there right from the inception of the game of rugby league, and then had very profound success.
The time is 10:37 on my watch, if that's correct, and I'm able to declare that this meeting of members of South Sydney District Rugby League Football Club is now open. We have a total of 48 registered speakers.
There are three issues that I see in front of us here today. One is to be convinced by the yes side, the other is to be convinced by the no side, and the third issue is whether $3 million is enough.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. You know, this is fun, isn't it? Are we loving it?
Mark Courtney is a passionate fan and wrote a history of the club through fans' eyes.
I reckon tomorrow, if we vote yes, I can still tell my kids about Johnny Sattler's broken jaw because I own it and we all own it. I think it's something about the past and the history and the traditions of the club. South Sydney embodies fabulous stories and everybody knows those stories.
To me, South Sydney represents when I was a kid. It represents when, you know, everything was possible. And when, you know, looking up to those players and attending a South Sydney game was a thing of massive importance to me.
One of the players a young Russell Crowe would have idolised is this man, John Sattler, now 65. His deeds and bravery underpin the essence of rugby league.
Go boys, go bunnies. Hello, mate. Hey, Pete. You come to the golf game. Oh, good to meet you. Good to meet you. Good night, Dad.
One of the truly great icons of our game.
Yes.
In 1970, Sattler captained the South Sydney Rugby League team to a grand final win, despite playing with his jaw broken in 3 places.
Completely broken on both sides.
Right there, and straight up the middle of there. Yeah.
A feat which cemented his legendary status among fans.
Souths are a very special club. There's just no other team like them. They are real true rugby league supporters.
Something about that, about some greatness that has always been there. I mean, Souths are the pride of the league. They were christened the pride of the league in 1929. They surely aren't the pride of the league at the moment because they haven't won the premiership for 35 years or 36 years, but there's something there that says, you know, we follow a great club, a great, magnificent club steeped in tradition and history and that will rise again.
He's our own rugby league legend, John Sattler.
Great, thanks, Jason. Congratulations, mate.
Sadly for Souths fans, their hero, 12 months after the vote, is officiating at a game of league as a guest of their rivals. John Sattler didn't want Souths owned by Russell Crowe and Peter Holmes-A-Court and refused to attend the historic meeting.
No, I had a ticket to go down and I just had a funny feeling about it and I didn't go and I'm glad I didn't.
Sattler and many of the greats of the past had formed a formidable opposition to the takeover. Former player, coach and chairman George Piggins became the symbolic figure for the old guard.
I don't care who owns Souths, as long as Souths and he's running around. I mean, George got to me first before I knew what was going on, and he said, will you support me? And I said, yeah. And I got a phone call from Peter, and he said, will you support me? I said, mate, you're too late.
Everybody knows the power that some of these players have and the hold that they have over the hearts and minds of South Sydney fans, you know. But look at who we're talking about. We're talking about the same group of guys, the last successful group of players at South Sydney. The guys from 1971. And they're still dominating the way the club thinks and feels. And that's not necessarily healthy. Now, I'm very pleased for them as players that they had their glory days. You know, and yes, they should be respected and admired and loved and held in high esteem in our club. But they shouldn't prevent other players from having glory days. And that's the situation we're in.
Perhaps, gentlemen of the 71 team, your support of the no argument is based on more on mateship and loyalty to your teammate and not the merits of this proposal.
They both sat back and allowed some of the supporters to bag me and to bag our life members, and I mean bag to the point, you know, where people had drove a lot of people out the back door.
We need to embrace a new, fresh, modernised, not stale approach to becoming a competitive, recharged club with a power image, not a pathetic losing one.
I was against it. I don't believe the history and tradition of the club could be sold for less than $3 million. I didn't go. I most probably would have copped the same stuff.
For 5 long hours, both sides lobbied for the undecided voter.
98 years of history and tradition that we have here in South Sydney. And that is valued at $3 million? No way for mine.
For those people that don't realise that this club's broke, where have you been for the last 20 years?
We own it. It's ours now. Why are we so eager to flog it off?
Vote yes
and give the future generations of South fans the chance to see what our past generations have. South Sydney as pride of the league, a club that others envy and that we can all be proud of.
I've got to say, this propaganda here today makes the Nazi propaganda look like a Cinderella story. And what about...
And here was South supporters swearing at each other, and the club was divided. It was ghastly and it was horrible. There's this massive passion amongst South people, which is our greatest strength when we're united and our biggest weakness when we're divided.
My goodness, that was a tackle, and this match has erupted into several brawls.
The divisions began in the 80s when a new level of professionalism emerged. Players attracted big money to play football full-time. The old days of work all day, train at night were over. South's working-class philosophy opposed this notion, but the realities of attracting top-grade players forced their hand.
Young men preparing for a world beyond rugby league, having a second employer, you'd be ministering to these players for the world beyond the day when they're no longer going to be playing the game. That doesn't happen now. Piggins said, and I know he said, we talked about this for hours, we had a view, a philosophy. Our philosophy was out of step with everybody else's. We had a philosophy that the game can't survive that way, and I still don't think it can.
As it comes to Coleman, now to Ian Roberts. Ian Roberts has gone straight through. Ian Roberts will score. That's the ball game.
When I left South, they stopped me playing. They cut my contract when they heard I was in negotiation with Manly, and I was the greatest arsehole that this club had ever produced. You know, I was dead set the arsehole of this club because I got sick of it. It's like, what they were offering was pittance, but they wanted me to stay because we're a South boy.
I don't want to go into management and how we were run in those days, because we had the potential to be a great footy team, but just didn't have the finance. So we were a punters team that was run by punters.
As rival clubs spent more and more on players and facilities, South's board chose to bunker down. They had little choice. Any success on the field was always tempered by the failure of its cash support, the South's Leagues Club.
We did get into trouble in the early 70s. We tried to do a major development and we went bankrupt, and we've virtually never been able to fully recover from it.
By the 90s, running Souths became a matter of year-by-year survival.
George's view was twofold. One, to be in the league and to deliver, to get results, but you have to live within your means.
Alan Jones became voluntary director of football for the club in 1994.
It was hideous. We had no players and no money. No players at all. And then the couple that were on contract wanted to leave. It was very difficult.
It's embarrassing when you're a player. We all hear that we're the pride of the league, but whilst ever I've been a player at South, as much as I adore the club and loved it from the day I was born, we're not the pride of the league. In fact, we're embarrassing and we're written about and we're ridiculed, and we want that to stop.
Souths are now confronted by their biggest ever loss.
We didn't seem to be getting anywhere, all the way through the 90s, no matter what happened and what announcements were made and what new horizons were talked about. We never seemed to win any more or progress.
Show them some mercy, please.
We're not a winning club. We're not, the money's terrible, and it's just, I remember thinking, I just want to get out of here.
What's commonly known as the first golden era is 25 through 29. Cool. Well, I'm going to work ahead on these three other things that I've got with the designer fella. I've probably been brought closer to the club around about 1994 by George Piggins and Alan Jones. I was first finding some success in Australia and stuff, and it was made public that I was a Souths fan. But, right through from that period, there's always been some sort of close association, particularly, I suppose, in 1999 when they were looking for money.
Russell made a habit of bringing high-profile mates to support Souths, but that didn't stop the National Rugby League, spearheaded by Rupert Murdoch's News Limited, overhauling the competition. After 91 years of playing, Souths were deregistered on the grounds they weren't financially viable.
Look, the NRL has took us out of the competition for the year 2000.
It was just extremely sad to watch all these, wrong decisions being made, and
it led to what it led to. But that writing was on the wall for a long period of time. That wasn't a surprise.
They were upmarket people that just took our game off us, and now that's it, you're finished. And the only course we had left to us was to go to the courts.
Any divisions within the club were swamped by the fight for reinstatement.
This is a priceless item of rugby league memorabilia, sold and still in the family to Russell Crowe and South Sydney.
Mr. Murdoch's got to realise this is not about big business, this is about sport.
George Piggins represents in many ways what South is all about. He doesn't take no for an answer. He'll fight to the death. Right's right, and the punters march. And there was 80,000 of them. And they said, we're not going to cop this. We're not going to have you take our team away.
The fight's not over till you people walk away, and I promise you, till you people walk away, I won't. I'll stay and fight.
Souths sat out of the competition for 2 long years, but under George's never-say-die leadership, they appealed and won.
I'm authorised by Justice Moore to say that he would allow the appeal.
The NRL revoked the exclusion. In 2002, Souths were back.
We're just going to get behind South Sydney Football Club. It don't matter who's leading the club or who's in charge of the club. That's the only way we're going to survive into the future.
The 2 years Souths were out, it was a really strange life. It was funny because it was actually quite good. In 2 ways. It was good because Souths weren't losing. And it was good because Souths were united.
This amazing response had never been seen before and probably will not be seen again from the people. That is uniquely South Sydney. Don't let these people down. We are the People's Club. Oppose privatisation.
So far, all the no voters have been grumpy old men. And I shut up. And I say to the people that are voting no for some misguided loyalty to George, we did that at Gallipoli, and wasn't that a resounding success?
If there's ever been a replica of the Bible story, this is it. They followed the man down the streets, and I'm not comparing George to Jesus in any way whatsoever, and he would be embarrassed if he heard me say that, because he's the most humble person. But I just can't get over how these people never had a football team, had nothing, and yet they turn on the same person that brought them out of the mire.
South in particular, more than any other club, you know, had to live with it's the working class game. But the thing is, you can't keep living like that. It's like, it's a working class game, we're doing it for the working class people, but okay, but I mean, sooner or later you've got to talk about the results and, you know, and the field and what's happening on the field.
This is fast becoming a huge embarrassment for South Sydney.
The game became modern and we never moved with the times. And we lived on the fact that we were this iconic brand, which we are, which won the most number of premierships, which we did. But no one really had a plan to win the next one. And when you don't have a plan to win the next one, you lose fans, sponsors, and your livelihood. And survivors survive for a while, but unless you've got an attack plan to get out of the hole you're in, you're not going to survive for too long. And we were at death's door. It's not excuses. I'm just saying from now on we'll do it this way.
South's Chief Executive Officer, Shane Richardson, joined the club in 2004. They were last on the competition ladder and had been that way for 2 years.
How much does it cost to run a footy club here? It depends if you want to be successful. If you want to live like we're running a footy club on about $9.5 million. We're the cheapest run footy club in the competition. If you want to run a footy club in Sydney that's successful, you've got to look around that $14–15 million mark.
The final straw was late 2005 when the club had a $100,000 shortfall and approached Russell Crowe one more time for a handout.
You have to go to someone and say, look, mate, if you don't give us the $100,000, we can't pay the wages. And I think that's when Russell started thinking, well, if I've got to give him another $100,000, well, I might as well own the bastard of a place and run it, you know?
People have asked, you know, or stated, why couldn't we just control the board? Why couldn't we just be sponsors, you know? Well, you're missing the point. The point is that everything had to change.
Point is, you know, control of the board still means we have to come back to the same people and have the same arguments and have our ideas watered down. I'm not interested in that. Not interested in that at all. Just as I wouldn't be interested in that on a film set or in any other things that I've pursued in life.
Russell Crowe had already befriended businessman Peter Holmescourt. Together, they dreamt up a new future for Souths.
Probably one of the great misunderstandings too is that I pushed Peter.
Okay, so Riley Street on the building side?
The push for this to actually happen comes from Peter. You know, the arm twisting came from Peter because once he was interested in it, he really wanted to pursue it. But he probably knew that without my involvement, it wouldn't happen.
It could be done, but we'd have to have control. We'd have to be able to make the decisions that need to be made to make the club a winning club again. We'd have to buy the team.
The first person we explained our idea to was George Piggins. And we sat down, had a lovely cup of tea and a long chat, and he said he'd go off and think about it, so he did. And ultimately he came back and said he was not supportive of the idea.
Regardless of what George thought, the campaign for change went ahead.
A small rolling rock turned into an avalanche.
And I'll keep, you know, giving the money, but my attitude is, look, if I'm going to pay for it, I want to have a say in how it's run.
Both sides of the campaign suffered the wrath of disgruntled fans.
I know that websites were peddling all sorts of untruths and terrible stories about people, but look, you just rise above all of that.
Just irresponsible, absolute rubbish, you know. I mean, one of them actually threatened me with sodomy.
By vote day, the no side believed they had the numbers.
And our final speaker, Russell Crowe.
Just getting 75% of people to agree on anything in Australia is a massive ask, you know. Is the sky blue? That's probably about 60-40.
How you doing, folks? How are you?
So 75% I thought was a number engineered to ensure its failure.
However the situation ends up today, our relationships together as a group of people will never be the same, however this goes. Now listen carefully, because this could be really big. Those of you in favour, repeat that simple, optimistic word after me. Yes. Yes!
I just think it's been a very well orchestrated plan by some very intelligent people. Let's not make any bones about it. These people are very intelligent. One of them is a trained actor. Now, to compete against a trained actor in front of all of those people out there at Telstra that day, you had no hope.
I believe this club is a viable, competitive team of the future. I believe and love and respect the history and past players of South Sydney. I want to win. Vote yes. Let's get in bed together. I hope you respect me in the morning.
Resolution 1, total valid votes 3,942. Yes, 2,988, representing 75.8%.
It was very unbelievable to us because we worked for a long time on making sure that we had the numbers. That last day we knew we had the numbers. So to me it's still a mystery as to how they got up.
Are you disappointed you didn't hear from George Piggins in the room?
South's members were entitled to hear where he and other people of the No camp stood, and I think it's a big shame that he was not prepared to speak publicly.
The South Sydney Football Club as it stands now doesn't represent what I represent, so I'll move on.
The era of Russell and Peter had begun.
I'll be helping the club this week. I'll be helping Shane Richardson in any way.
Well, tradition was sold. It was sold. The 30 pieces of silver have been paid. Tradition sold. It's not the people's team. It's two people's team.
We've sold the shit fight. which is a great thing to sell.
Next time on Southside Story, the vote has been won.
I think they were hypnotised by the glamour.
Now the owners must deliver.
What's the total revenue that you need to run this club?
We don't really know. The thing that will make a difference is the love.
Playing rugby league Russell Crowe style.
They believe that Russell would do to rugby league what he's actually done to his own personal career. But there's more to this than reading a script.
Fan Day, February 2007. The first time South's long-suffering supporters have seen the team they used to own with its new owners.
The key thing that we really actually did sell was the right to vote every year on the South Sydney shit fight. The board vote. We could have a board challenge with all those blood and guts every year, and who wants to come and play at a club like that? There's no more shit fight. Russell and Peter run this club.
Souths was officially handed over to Russell Crowe and Peter Holmes-A-Court midway through the 2006 football season.
Today we're on the starting line in our campaign to rebuild a sporting powerhouse. Rugby league is a community asset, a social movement, and it's also a business. You've got to be good at business if you want to win, and you've got to have a passion for winning.
I want to thank those that voted for us, and when I say I want to thank you, I mean that with humble sincerity. I want to thank those that voted for us and assure you very simply that over time, your faith will be rewarded.
For half a year, the new owners took a watching brief. The team came last, winning just 3 games. For young players Shannon McPherson and Nathan Merritt, it was a year of frustration, waiting for the new owners to make their mark.
There's a lot of infighting within the club. Everyone wasn't working together. There's a lot of fighting from the front office, and even the coaching staff, training staff, players weren't getting along. So everyone wasn't on the same page.
Last couple of years, South have been looked at as a retirement home, and so no one really expected South to win any games. It was just coming in for the money, everyone used to say. And yeah, there was really no pressure on us in the years before to win a few games, or no one expected us to make the Sam's or nothing.
Rugby league teams have 13 in their side, plus 4 interchange players and reserves, making a squad of around 30. Players are drawn from all over Australia and the Pacific Islands.
We like to have perk. We've got pretty good sorts here in our team, you know.
Where the new owners are spending their money is creating a buzz, a new coach and some big-name players.
3 years ago, a $300,000 player wouldn't even talk to South unless they were talking $350,000, $400,000. South had to pay overs to get players. I can't imagine that in the world of football players, people now say, oh God, I wouldn't want to go to South. There's just too much excitement about the place. There's too much buzz.
Boys, we've got these cameras here. If any stage they're right in your face and you feel like telling the off, like now, you can. Okay?
To be honest, I wouldn't have come to South if Russell and Peter didn't win the vote. As a young coach, to come to a club that was really struggling like they were, if I thought that it was going to continue in that way, then I wouldn't have put myself in that position.
JT was sort of the last piece of the puzzle for me. When I knew that they'd signed him as a coach, it just sort of put things in place.
Dean Widders, Roy Asatasi, David Kidwell and Nigel Vangana are new senior players for 2007.
Keep testing yourself, bro.
They're highly regarded as men who can make an impact on game day.
There's an imbalance that we have to overcome over a few years of having to pay people a lot more money than they might be worth in the market normally, just for them to come to South in the first place. But as I said, our aim is to make it a players' club, so players want to be at South Sydney.
anything one above bottom, I'd be happy with, I suppose. But yeah, there is a lot of pressure. But look, I start every year saying we're going to make the top 8. My wife laughs at me, and at the end of every year I say I'm never going to buy season tickets again, and she laughs at me again. So I'm back again, and you just keep going.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2007 squad.
But for all the excitement and new signings, the biggest hurdle for the team is overcoming a losing culture. Most winning teams have been together for multiple seasons and created a bond amongst players. Souths are trying to create that bond in one short pre-season.
It has been, you know, a sort of rushed thing because we've only all come together sort of in the last couple of months. But, you know, if we continue to work hard on it, come the end of the year, we'll have plenty of combinations, and there's so many blokes in this team that can do some spectacular things on the footy field that, you know, if it comes together, big time, we'll have a really good attacking team.
Hello, mate. How are you? Good. What's going on in the past, anywhere, is in the past. And this is a new season. Got a new group of players. There's new owners, new staff. We're starting from scratch and going forward.
Peter was fascinated by the opportunity to engage in a sport like this, and fascinated by the history of the club and what it would mean to turn it around.
While Russell needed no introduction to the players, Peter had to establish his credentials early.
I do these talking gigs. I have to say that talking here is as scary a talking gig as you can do. It's a small room, it angles down completely towards me. There's 35 people twice the size of me, and I look brittle, looking straight at me with a look in their eyes of, you know, what the do you know about rugby league, Peter? And what do you know about South Sydney? You got here about 3 minutes ago. I grew up in Western Australia. My father was an immigrant. He came from South Africa at a time when it wasn't cool to come from South Africa. You were assumed to be a racist if you were a white guy from Southern Africa. My mother's parents were communists at a time that it wasn't cool to be a communist. Well, it's still not cool to be a communist. But they were really on the outer of their community. And sort of halfway through my schooling, my father got very successful. I know what it's like to be an outsider. You know, the greatest benefit is you're constantly underestimated. I don't expect to be accepted. So I don't come from a position where I'm thinking people ought to accept me. If they underestimate me, that's probably an advantage. You know, I've had the good, I've had the bad. It's made me who I am. And as your, you know, co-owner of this club, know that you've got a fighter in your corner for you guys.
There's no real pressure on me because I do wacky things. I'm a wacky actor, you know. But with Peter can't fail in this. Cannot fail in this because from the business community's point of view, this is supposed to be a simple business, and this is a tiny deal. It's a $3 million deal. It's a drop in the ocean. It's nothing. You cannot fail.
Last year, the club cost a bargain basement $9.5 million to run. To be competitive this year and every year from now on, they'll need to spend closer to $15 million. Peter's job is to turn around an old, iconic brand and sell a new Souths.
Couldn't get Jeremy, he had something planned for today. Brendan's coming from the league.
Marketing manager Chris Keeble was part of the old Souths and has stayed for the new regime.
We've been a B-grade movie for a little while, but now we're A-grade. We're blockbusters now.
And what presentation do we have here?
This is the brand universe.
Is it?
That's what James gave us. You're James Punch.
Yeah. Does that look anything like the brand universe to you?
I've never looked at it yet.
Okay.
The strategy has changed and the reasons for belonging have changed. We don't go cap in hand because we believe we have an amazing product. We have an amazing brand that's an iconic brand in Australia, if not getting around the world. And that comes at an enormous value to be a part of that.
This is a branding concept, the brand universe. It was always the understanding of Russell and I that when we made this investment, we were going to have to roll up our sleeves and help turn around the business. We didn't have the support staff here. It wasn't large enough to do all the work that was necessary. I was going to protect my investment by making sure I knew what was going on.
It'll be interesting to see where this money's going to come from, because when you start spending, and you know this, they are recurrent expenditures. They come up today and tomorrow and the next year and the next year and the next year. And it's all very well saying, well, we're going to buy the club and we're going to do all sorts of things to the club. As much as we might like to say, well, you know, Russell's going to put up his stamp, people are not going to keep signing cheques. Not of that magnitude.
What's the total revenue that you need, that you think you need, to run this club and pay for all the...
Yeah. I'm sort of, you know, I'm working that out. We're working that out as we go. We don't really know. What we know is that if we can add...
Russell's a custodian. Russell understands the psyche. Russell understands the history. Russell understands the players better than I ever will. But I'm here for only one reason, which is to make the football club successful.
I've always thought that we had a relationship where, no matter our status, we've always talked very straight with each other. And the thing that I don't need on a set is somebody just, you know, patting me on the back and saying, do whatever you want, you know. What I did was I did 3 movies in a row last year very quickly. But I don't usually work back to back, but last year I did. I did one little film called Tenderness, then I came back home and my wife gave birth to Tennyson, our second son, on schedule, good girl. And then I could get back to America and do the next 2 movies that I had lined up. But I worked like that specifically to buy some time at the beginning of this year because I knew it would take a little time for being around, you know. It's just going to take time because it's got to settle in. You know, there's big ideas, big changes, asking people to think a completely different way.
The team dubbed the Pride of the League could take little pride in their surroundings. Their old home ground of Redfern was so run down, it's been razed, ready to be reborn into a new facility in 2008. In the meantime, they've set up training base at Erskineville Oval. Urco to the locals. Ramshackle, down at heel. Having bought themselves some new players, the next major investment for the new owners was to purchase the facilities and equipment that most top-grade sporting clubs take for granted.
I would say that if you showed pictures to people of Erskineville prior to us coming along and said this is where a first-grade professional rugby league team trains, they would have been stunned.
Okay, boys, that first 3 exercises we've got overhead squat.
Not just the worst in the league, you probably could find primary schools that would have had better sports facilities.
Our opportunity was first and foremost of just giving the basics. Just give people the basics, give the coaching staff the space to do their job.
It's probably up there with every other club in the comp now, like the most professional clubs in the comp. South is there. That was the thing that was, like last year we didn't have the facilities, and this year we've been able to get them or buy them so that we can be on the same playing level.
You know, the extra 20 minutes that you spend stretching and ice baths after every session and just all the different processes is the main thing.
The ice baths are basically a way of preventing any swelling for the whole body, considering that it's undergone trauma either from training or after a game where they've got trauma obviously for the whole body. So basically we're trying to ice the body down. Hopefully the players recover a lot quicker.
Away from Urco, the administration of the club is learning what it's like to have an executive chairman who isn't beholden to the fickle decisions of a fractured board.
They're serious, those 2 strength and conditioning boys.
They are, but they're very, very good at what they do.
Football manager Tony Henderson is a 16-year veteran of the club and former board member.
Well, I was on the board, both boards a couple of times, and the politics has always been really strong. There's always been 2 sort of factions, not working together, all trying to do the same thing, get the same result, but not actually working together.
Of course there were fights in the boardroom at South Sydney. There were people who challenged various directions, and that always happens when an outfit's struggling. There's nowhere in the world where success can be secured without a brawl. I mean, that's the nature of the beast.
So that's just who we're welcoming this day to the match.
For the 25% who voted no, it's still too early to determine if South's new structure will bring the results all factions wanted: a winning team and a profitable club.
All of a sudden, two people own it. You're just a bit worried about how they would approach running the football club and about football itself.
That these guys
Can make the ball.
will make the ball in exactly what we want.
As long as it's not a sporting
brand. As long as it's not a sporting brand.
I feel that the new management is abrupt and exclusive. It appears to be a club today that you're okay to put your money into, but we really don't want to hear what you've got to say. Because this is our club and we're doing what we want with it. Which isn't the meaning of the word club, as far as I'm concerned.
It's clear from day one, a group of angry people on the wrong side of the vote, manoeuvring to have a shot at us. And if 75% of the members would back us, we took that as a mandate to do what we're doing, and we can't let a vocal minority prevent us from doing what we believe is right. Right, Joel. Okay, well.
Welcome to the South Sydney Regulars Society.
Where did that come from? Okay, so that is not an approved hat, by the way. It's not. It's not an approved hat. Okay. It's not an approved design. It shouldn't have been up there. They need to find a way to get a different hat.
In rugby league, trial games are played before the competition proper begins. It's a way of testing players and combinations, and for Souths to see if the new team will work as a cohesive unit.
We love you, Rabbitohs! Rangers! We love you, Rabbitohs!
Ultimately, it comes down to what happens on the field. That's the only thing that really changes anything, is if the team finds a way to win, and that's going to come from themselves.
In contradiction to seeking team cohesion, trials are also about players competing with each other for coveted spots in the first grade team. Jamin Lowe was a regular Souths first grader, but new signings have pushed him to the side.
When I was here last year and I was playing injured and playing pretty ordinary, like really ordinary really, I didn't really have a fear of being dropped. Like I didn't really have a fear of losing my spot, because I didn't feel uncomfortable that there was anyone under me that could take my spot. But I think now everyone has to fight tooth and nail, everyone has to be 100% fit because they've got to be playing their best footy to keep their spot.
You just got to give yourself the best chance, like I'm saying, There's always injuries, you never know when you're going to get your chance, so you just got to keep fit, play well, so when you get caught up, you got to do your job.
Trials aren't just for players. For this group of regulars, known as the Singer's End, it's a chance to try out some new songs.
I've had a number of complaints because people behind can't see.
We're providing entertainment. Everyone loves it. There's no one here who's complaining about what we're doing.
The only the people that complain to me...
Passion and poetry, but not enough to get them over the line for their first trial.
Excellent defence, really good. But we've got to fix up quick what we're doing with the footy. Right, we completed 21 and 40 sets. Okay, so that's just over 50%. You can't win. You can't win doing that, okay? So that's cool. There's no dramas. First game, we're sweet, all right? Everybody I talk to would say, it'll be good there as long as Peter and Russell don't tell you what to do and that sort of thing. There was a couple of things that sort of Russell was talking to me about at the start, and I was thinking, there's a lot here, I hope this isn't all going to be a bit over the top. And at any stage, if, the stuff that Russell's helping us with, if I feel that that's not what we need for a certain week, or, something goes in a fashion that I'm not that happy with, then I've got to be prepared to tell him.
There's just one more trial before the competition proper begins. Russell introduces a new bonding concept into the rugby league lexicon.
Now, I've said it before, and I'll say it again, and I totally, fundamentally believe this to my core. The thing that will make a difference is the love. Actually accepting the family environment, accepting the brotherhood.
That's a whole new agenda Russell has for us. I mean, it's about bringing us together.
That's the stuff that makes the difference.
And actually it worked out well in a case where everyone's got up and said something about one another. And I mean, that's the difference between today's football and yesterday's football.
Dean Widders, I love you, mate, because I feel when I shake your hand, I somehow am touched by your heart. I feel that just as you make an effect on the football field, you'll make an effect in the community over a long term. And I feel that deeply and greatly, and that's why I love you. You want to stand up, pick somebody and tell them why you love them?
You know, a guy I really love playing footy with is Jazza.
I don't see that everything has to be about crush, bash and negativity. I see that we're going to achieve a lot more if we actually have higher ideals. Once that word was in the air and it was in front of all of us, they just grabbed it and they embraced it.
I like everyone here, but there's only one man I truly love, and that is my
It is an illusion.
teammate.
You don't just in sport walk out and win Wimbledon because you say, I want to win Wimbledon, or we're going to win Wimbledon. It doesn't happen like that. Doesn't happen. You don't walk out and beat the All Blacks just like that. Ask the Australian rugby team right now whether it's automatic. You just have to run on with the jersey and say, hey, we feel good about ourselves, we're going to win. It doesn't happen like that.
You've got to have higher ideals. You've got to have things that you're really striving for, you know? And you've got to have things in your football life that you want to have in your family life. The two things have got to be closer linked, you know? Just as, you know, your wife and your children are your priorities and you love them. Now you want to take that love that you have as a family man, you want to then bring that to the team.
Driving home, gonna kiss the wife. Driving home, gonna kiss the wife. Lucky girl, gonna all night. Lucky girl, gonna all night. Our points out, game our victory. Our points out, game our victory. Glory, glory, South Sydney. Glory, glory, South Sydney.
Our club.
South Sydney.
We love.
South Sydney.
We are.
South Sydney.
Second trial, an annual charity match against rivals St George.
One of the greatest things about working with Russell is forming clear views about what we want, what we need to get to survive, to thrive, and then having the partner like Russell to back me and for me to be able to back him to do what's necessary to achieve those things.
And they're underway. The Rabbitohs across the line, their first touch. Maybe this is a new dawn for the Rabbitohs.
These people come from another planet in some instances. They come from a whole new world that a lot of us have never been exposed to and probably never thought we would have been exposed to. They do come to us with a lot of amazing ideas, and we do, yes, you know. We've actually got to learn to manage that ourselves. I think we also need to manage the boys, as I call them, Peter and Russell. We need, and by doing that, we're starting to manage them, perhaps. They do need training, God love them, because they are excited and they've got this great toy and you know, and they want to play.
The Rabbitohs need something now. And St George Illawarra have regained the Charity Shield.
They can have that and we'll win the first round. It's good. It was good. I'm very happy with what we did. We just got to persevere more, We've got the footy, but it'll come. It'll come.
2 games, 2 losses, and the competition proper just around the corner.
To me, you've spent a fortune on building a team this year. You've bought a new coach who appears to be a wonderful coach and is doing a great job. Brought in some top-line players. Of course you've got to win games. If you don't win games and you've spent all of that money, then really you've probably failed.
Next time on Southside Story, the Emperor and his new clothes.
How much for one suit? Couldn't get my head around that sort of stuff. Like someone's wage, you know.
Can Hollywood and chutzpah...
You don't want to get engaged in any of the politics of this movie.
...create a winning combination?
And to me, that's dangerous.
It's not a little fluffy white bunny. It's a black rabbit. Black rabbits eat people.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
We worked with a really good designer. He's high maintenance, he's very precise, he's very, very quick, and everything has to be done exactly the way that he has designed it. I highly recommend if you get a chance to work with him. His name's Russell Crowe.
That's rubbish, man.
That is absolute rubbish.
Look at that. You got your S is off the line here, O's out of line. Hey, they got the U right. Hallelujah. The T is right. H is right. S is offline. Y is offline. D is offline. N's completely out of whack. E's offline. Well, that's 1, 2, 3 letters out of 11. Lovely. Right.
He's redesigned everything. He redesigned every single piece.
This one hasn't gone to manufacture just yet because we
This one hasn't. This is, well, look, the idea of this is really cool, and the style of this is great, isn't it? That collar, that stand-up collar is really cool, and that's going to drop down beautifully. But you can't do a red and white thing, man.
I don't have a specific job at South, so I don't have a, I'm not like, Peter's the executive chairman or Shane Richardson's the CEO. It's more a matter of, what needs doing. That's how it works out.
Russell may not have a role, but he's redesigned the team's clothing line to reflect a rabbit with attitude.
This is a very hard sport.
And to me, that's dangerous.
And a fluffy white bunny is not necessarily indicative of just how tough the sport is. I mean, you can have this conversation with Americans and, they ask you what your symbol is and you say a rabbit. And they're like, oh my God, a rabbit? Well, what happens when you guys play the Lions?
He's also introduced a new symbol for away games, the black rabbit.
Immediately that black rabbit has power because it's not a little fluffy white bunny. It's a black rabbit, and black rabbits eat people. Anybody who's a fan of Monty Python knows that.
Idea of the green outline is wrong. I think it's best better to go to black.
A number of the complaints are down to the type of zipper that's been used, about the finish at the bottom of a jumper, and it's that level of detail that goes all the way back to what the players wear and how they turn up to games and how they present themselves that has really helped instill a new discipline and vigour in what we're doing at the club.
Well, that might mean that we just hold this whole thing back. This, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Don't release the pants until there's a top that goes with it.
While Russell designs, Peter's attending to other matters. To make up a $5 million a year shortfall, he and South's management are drumming up business with new sponsors.
We're able to focus on the business, not focus on the brawling. Like arguing every week and why have you done that, and this person coming in and factions and at the end of the day that used to take up so much energy and so much time. Its blue collar background has been fantastic for the game, but unfortunately the administrators have thought the same way and they've sold the game short for 30 years. Sponsorship-wise, we've always seen ourselves as behind the leather patches of the rugby union guys. Why, I don't know, because we've always had the stars on television, yet we haven't promoted them as stars and pushed them forward as stars, so we've undersold the game there.
We used to have, a large number of sponsors who were there because they primarily love the club. Now we've got a new breed of sponsors. 5 of our 6 major sponsors, either support other teams or are not even fans of rugby league. What they're looking to achieve is they want to get exposure in this market over here, or they want to take their brand and put it over here, you know. Or
over the last years, before Russell and Peter took over, we lost, one year we broke square, we lost $500,000, another year $1 million, another year. It sounds a lot of money to lose, but the major clubs that have had success over the last 5 or 6 years have all had a leagues club which is putting in somewhere between 4 and 6 million per year. So it's, you know, they talk about breaking even or making $1. They only do that after the leagues club puts it in.
The Souths Rugby League Club should exist as a fundraising arm for the team, but a changing demographic in the area over 40 years has meant it operated mainly at a loss.
That white elephant was always, you know, attached to the foot of every person who tried to do something positive for Souths.
It was $8 million in debt, and administrators had been appointed. Peter and Russell's Football Club have joined with a developer and formed a company called High Concept. They won the right by member vote to buy out the debts and redevelop the site. Most of the building will be turned into commercial use, but the Leagues Club have been guaranteed they will be financially viable in their new redeveloped home. This guarantee hasn't reassured everyone.
And now High Concept own it, not the football club. That's what we want to know.
The football club are not the enemy.
It appears that we've sold a Leagues Club building and got nothing out of it, and you never get to own it again. They can close it down, they can move it to the Central Coast, they can sell it, they can do what they want with it. Now, has this building been sold to a $2 shelf company? Has it or not? Tell the truth, Jeff, for a change. Tell it.
Just one thing.
Also at issue is the community role of the club.
Our aim is, over time, that anybody who's disadvantaged in our area, you know, somehow going to be touched by the club, whether it's a free lunch one day or some travel somewhere, or aged care, whether it's netballs for a girls' team, whether it's new uniforms for a kids' soccer team, it doesn't matter. That community responsibility hadn't been respected by Souths for a long time.
The opposition is still worried the new business of Souths will leave many members out in the cold.
It's an area that houses a lot of people that can ill afford to go to restaurants and the like, and even pubs. And the people that bought the Leagues Club never went there and had a meal there once a week. They don't know the psyche of the place.
Yeah, you can make a nice picture.
Outside the Leagues Club, a different gathering.
Bring them all over. Let's do it.
Take a group of guys that don't necessarily believe in magic or whatever, you know, and show them that things are possible. So show them that things that can actually come from a place that they're not expecting.
I guess a lot of other clubs are saying, well, geez, I wish he was a Bulldog supporter or a Rooster supporter. But, I mean, that's where Russell's heart is. He said he's been a South Sydney boy since he was a boy.
You know, a couple of outstanding bets that I haven't paid off for guys in high school where, you know, I told them that by a certain time I would be playing football for South Sydney, you know. And actually one of them contacted me recently and said, actually, you did owe me $20, but now that you own the club, I'm just going to let it slide, you know, because you're playing your best game for South Sydney.
Don't open your package until everybody's got their package, all right? Is that cool? All right, well, we'll do it at the same time. Right.
We should be very privileged that he is part owner of this club. I mean, he obviously, if he wasn't a movie star, he'd probably want to be a rugby league player. He'd probably want to be out there mixing it with us. So he's very fortunate in what he does, and he's obviously given a lot of that back to us as rugby league players.
These symbols on the side are actually coasters from 1969. One from the juniors and one from the Leagues Club. I just got them made into a badge. Obviously, that's a sort of play on yin and yang with a rabbit. Now, I can show you the sort of thing that Roots are prepared to do for our club, but they're not prepared to do, you know, anything for a team that isn't like champions and winners. But, you know, so you could, you know, find yourself looking pretty sharp.
You know, clothes don't make the man, but it is important to dress for success. If you want to achieve a certain thing, you know, sometimes that's what it takes, you know, that sort of external armour to remind you of who you are and what you're doing. But it's all just comes down to psychological stuff. There's a lot of things we've done which are all just positive psychological reinforcement. It's like telling people that things can happen, you know. Maybe they didn't happen last year, maybe they haven't happened for a long time, but things can still change and you can be part of that way.
Russell Crowe has walked many a red carpet publicising his films. Souths are about to step into Russell's world to generate some publicity of their own. The team are preparing for the red carpet premiere of Bra Boys, a documentary about a controversial surf tribe and their South Sydney suburb, Maroubra.
They're surrounded by heavy shit.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
The tough street fighters also surf the world's biggest waves. One of the Souths players, John Sutton, is a member of the Bra Boys.
Got the morning off training, I'm just going to go for a little surf.
Sutton represents the type of player Souths are keen to promote. Part Islander, working class, a local junior who's made his way through the ranks and into first grade.
Steps inside and will score. Did he get it?
Souths are keen to support John, but wish to distance him and the club from any controversy.
When you're talking about the Bra Boys, if people ask you questions about the Bra Boys, whatever your own opinion is, don't get drawn into any conversations about gangs, okay? We all come from a club culture. Rugby clubs, RSL clubs, SSNA clubs, bowling clubs. One thing you can say is, you know, it's a club culture. Bra Boys is a club. They surf, you know what I mean? You don't want to get engaged in any of the politics of this movie, okay? When we arrive at the State Theatre, guys, the press will be faced up the street taking photographs of you walking down towards the cinema. And that is going to look hot, all right? Now remember, what we need to do tonight is sell tickets to a rugby league game. That's what your focus has got to be, okay? Let's go out and have a really good night. There's no alcohol tonight, okay? No drinking. Sorry about that. It's the way it goes. On the bus? As soon as we get out of the bus, it's a photo opportunity. The press have been pre-set up for that. And they're going to be looking down the street, photographing us. So if you can have your zip up so you can see the word South Sydney clearly.
Doesn't matter what it is, you put guys together in a group and they go through something that's unusual and different. You know, it's something they can then talk about, and it's a further way of them bonding and getting closer together.
When you look back at South's last season, the year before, no one wanted to touch Souths with a 20-foot pole. The daggiest side in the league. Now we're cool. It's just happened like that.
That'll be a squad shot. You'll need to bunch up. Some guys will need to kneel down. It's limited space, so you need to get through that efficiently.
That was a spin out. That was to walk in the way we did, jump on the bus, red carpet, photographers everywhere.
Big Rabbitoh fan, mate. Go the Rabbits.
Is there a bit of a spirit of the Bra Boys in that side?
Oh, definitely. I think there's the brotherhood there.
Do you follow that lady in this?
He's all embarrassed. He's NRL's best serve. I think he's trying to hold it.
There's the bunnies!
See, we come from a club culture. RSLs, SSNAs, football clubs, bowling clubs, whatever you care to name. So this is just another one of those clubs, you know? Through the red carpet, inside the room is another photo opportunity, okay? You'll see on the floor, there's a big round mosaic. You're basically going to stand at the beginning of that mosaic and you're going to get into the tightest grip possible. The photographer is going to be up the stairs in front of you, looking down, taking the shot, okay?
It's red carpet appearance only for the team. They've already seen the film. Next is dinner, and then to a prize fight featuring Indigenous boxer Anthony Mundine. New signing and Aboriginal player Dean Widders sees the lighter side of a night out with Russell.
Russell's brought a lot of great things to the club, and I like to make it that sometimes he goes over the top.
Okay, just like to welcome everyone down here to the Bra Boys movie scene. There's no lovely women in there, or the boys are looking at.
And just like to joke about things that he does and stuff like that, and you know, make out that I don't really understand. It's an alter ego thing.
Now we're about to go down, watch a Mundine fight. All the black fellas on one side, Mundine, all the white fellas on the other side, down for the other fellas, same side of me.
Boys love it, just have a bit of a joke, smucking around.
The team tucks in without the owners. They're trying to lure the biggest name in rugby union, Lottie Zakiri. They hope their family-friendly deal-making will sway him.
Do we need a social event with Lottie? So Lottie comes over, Lottie and Rebecca come to my house.
With Samson.
With Samson, yeah, cool. And Roy and Celeste are there. David Kidwell and his wife and 2 kids. Like that. Yeah, and we all have, like, there's 12 of us, we have dinner. The kids all hang in the playroom.
You have an early dinner, have a kids' dinner.
Yeah.
6 o'clock dinner.
Yeah,
5:30 dinner.
Yeah, we all eat together.
Just with his connections, I mean, who he is and what he does, has a lot of people interested in what we do. And I mean, if he's able to give us a little piece of what he does, I mean, it definitely opens our eyes.
Final destination, a world title fight. It's another chance for business, hooking up with the head of the TV channel which broadcasts rugby league.
We're just going to go and see Eddie Maguire. We're back in there.
Why don't we go down to a pub in Woolloomooloo or something? Yeah, actually, my office in Woolloomooloo. The beer will be colder, it's cheaper, and I can smoke. Yeah, we're just on the opposite side, so just come and hook up with us and we'll continue on. All right, good on you. Cool.
As a bonding session, it was a long night, but not everyone agreed it was the best way to spend the days before their first match.
I think they were hypnotised by the glamour, and they believe that, you know, Russell would do to rugby league what he's actually done to his own personal career. But there's more to this than reading a script.
Scripted or not, the first game publicity juggernaut rolled on. Next stop, Armani.
You know, if you ask, it's amazing what people around the world want to get involved, you know. And George Armani was like, his first thing was, what is rugby league? Who is the Robertosis?
So I called Georgiou and I told him all about the history of South Sydney and, you know, the ups and downs, and he just got intrigued by it. And, you know, I can cut it short and make it sound like it was really easy. It wasn't very easy because you're dealing with, you know, one of the greatest fashion designers ever.
Get ready for weddings.
The blue-collar people's team is about to step into unfamiliar territory.
Armani, half of us can't afford to pay for that sort of stuff, and I've never been anywhere near an Armani suit before, but it gives you that extra sense of, you know, there's something really good going on at our club.
Forward into the...
A few years ago we got some suits, and I think they were the same ones as the McDonald's suits, and one of the boys actually had the M on his chest. And we had to pay for those ones ourselves, so yeah, it was definitely a lot better feeling getting the nice Armani ones.
How much for one suit?
You put it on and you go into the football game and you're going to play, you know, and it sort of has a certain resonance because of that, you know, that it's clothes specifically to dress in when you go into a game, you know.
I didn't bring undies, man, so I've got a pair of Armani undies as well.
Did you? I didn't bring undies either.
Oh, happy days. Grab that lady. I mean, the undies being $160, I couldn't get my head around that sort of stuff. Like, $160 is someone's wage, you know, like a labourer's wage, and they were underwear. Like, yeah, it was a bit of an eye-opener for me, yeah, big time. Oh, well, I sort of tipped a few guys off that were going up there. I said, if you're wearing undies, take them off, because they got a pair up there for you, so I might be in a bit of trouble for that. I'm going to bloody put them on eBay.
You need Monday morning.
You need in total?
Monday morning is the only time that the administration staff will all be in the same place.
Okay.
There's enough here for the administration staff.
Here?
No,
There's
not if you
it's
add
fine.
players and administration staff and coaches. No, there's not. right?
Okay. So it's there's going to be around
So 70
one
a year, right?
70
So players and coaches take over about 50, and then board would take 56, 57, something like that.
Okay.
So we don't have enough now for the administration staff.
Okay.
So there is an admin staff breakfast at 8:30 on Monday, right?
Not that I'm aware of. That was last month. That was Monday just gone.
I thought it was every Monday morning.
No.
All right. Well, there is now. Tell Richo.
I'll fix it.
Book it, and then if we have those tyres boxed up for us before Monday morning, that'd be fantastic because we'll give them out on Monday morning.
Sure. To everybody.
And that means everybody will wear them that night at the game, so it'll look sensational. Is this me?
Yes.
All right. So you guys are going to have to piss off now.
Everything you've thought about this club, think again. We had to make people believe that if it was the right thing to do, we should just do it, somehow just do it, somehow get it done.
Heaps good week. The boys are ready.
You know, we've dressed the players well, from their street gear to their team blazer by Mr. Armani. All we can do is provide them with every incentive to feel how good it is when you're part of a team, when you're part of building a winning culture, when you're part of being proud of yourself and your community.
Keep looking this way. You'll be the one with the head turn around.
Like any sports club, the team photo is a big event. 99 years of South's teams have sat for posterity. Now, they also sit for publicity. Armani-clad, the team is brought back to earth. The first game of the 2007 competition is only hours away.
Practice. Drift them over, bring it back to that tram, and have a shot at them. Doesn't work, go in there again and go again. There is so much going on at this club at the moment. There's so many distractions. It's so easy to get caught up in all of the stuff that's in the papers and all over the place. All that matters is what we do on the field. You know, Peter and Russell will look after that stuff, and that's what he's saying. They'll look after it. They'll get the media there, they'll get the big crowds there. We just got to worry about the footy. The stuff we've practiced will be good for us. Sweet, boys. Come on, boys.
That one little section at the top of all this that we have no control over is what happens on the field. And ultimately, that's what it's about.
Game 1 for Peter Holmes-A-Court is about gathering the faithful before leading them to the most anticipated sporting event of his life.
I've said to my son, like I said, mate, if we win tonight, I won't be coming home.
Guru is speaking. A year ago to this day, we went through that horribly painful thing, the vote out at Telstra, where 4,000 plus members of South voted to give Russell and I a chance to run this club, and it's been a year right to today. The last 12 months have been everything, but they've been nothing. We haven't played a single game. We hand over from today to the players. The rest of the season is theirs, and the team moves forward, and it's all up to them. I'm surviving, mate. I'm surviving.
I've got nothing at all against the current administration, but I'm just saying, you know, there was this great glamour of putting people in Armani suits and serving them special food, and there were pictures everywhere, and go, well, you know, winning is very difficult. This is a very fierce, competitive environment.
The South Sydney area is an area where a lot of people live a hard life, in a way you could say, and we want to sort of make it a team that the whole area is proud of.
I love this game, I honestly do, and it's something that's kept me at the top for such a long time, and I'm glad I'm able to say that I played for the Red and Green, the Mighty Rabbits.
understand that this is a team that has had no success for a long time. This is a new squad. It's a new coach. It's a new system. Mate, we're human beings.
Next time on Southside Story.
Get to Joey and tell him, let's get it set up. Play 46, get it set up.
Can a football team deliver on the hopes and dreams of an army of fans and 2 new owners?
Either this is going to toughen us up in ways that we could never have expected, or this is going to kill us. It's really serious. It's not a joke. I mean, I'm probably really bad company on game day. You can't have a decent conversation with me. I try to get better with it, but I will get better with it. But at the same time, I don't want to lose that core thing that is driving this whole thing, which is the passion.
We are ready, and Monday Night Football is back. Is Williams again showing us? Joey's in. It is a red and green beginning to this first game of 2007.
These guys will get tired before us, but we've got to fight hard. Strong defence for the rest of the game.
They love it in the stands. In behind them is Dan for Van Minard. Oh, what a start. That is a try.
Me, we're going to get our defence tested for this up. Let's take the challenge. When they get a shot at us, go, and here we go.
Cusack, bobbled it.
Yeah, baby. Get in there.
Peter Holmes, of course. He put his money where his mouth is. Now he's going to smile like a Cheshire cat. There's a chance on this right-hand side. Williams to Peachy. Lovely ball. Gets his second. And the Rabbitohs win in round 1 for the first time since coming back. They've beaten the Roosters, their arch rivals. They'll be wild. The fans, the owners.
We work together all summer as a group. We get out and in games like this are won together. No one won it individually tonight.
Congratulations, Peter. Just a start. I think we're leading the comp.
There was a lot written, there was a lot said. And on their first night, they've delivered.
Mate, it's just magic. It's like a Cinderella story. I think it's great for not only South, but it's just great for rugby league.
We still don't know how good we can be with the footy. We're going to get heaps better than that, and that's scary. All right? Great job. Now, Hendo, start me.
Now that we're all around the bar and the captain's declared the quorum, we're drinking our way through the night and we're having the time of our lives. Throw the empties away, start again for the boys of South Sydney are together, and we'll drink till the dawn breaks again, and may the sessions of South Sydney last forever.
About a week before, we went away for a camp, and we all, all the new guys, learnt the song, and it was great to actually everyone knowing the song, pelting it out.
The irony is you're not allowed to drink anymore.
Well.
People said, were you nervous? Hell yeah. When you were relieved? Shit, yeah. Of course I was. The day of the match, I said to everyone I was junk. I couldn't do anything that day. I started a bunch of projects. I couldn't finish them. I called a bunch of people, forgot why I was calling them. Ran around, I was hopeless.
Not a bad start. You're right.
Well, you said it. Afterwards, I said to the boys, that's just the first round. It's the first game. Don't get too carried away. Look after what you have to do, injuries or whatever, to get ready for the next week.
What's going on?
A little bit. Oh well. South's win over arch rivals the Roosters is a dream start. A good excuse for Russell and Peter to give the club's publicity a nudge. Selected journalists are invited out to an intimate dinner.
How did you blokes become mates? We met at the Academy Awards 2000. Peter had a lot to do with the building of the Kodak Eastman Theatre at the Academy Awards.
Grooming or keeping in with journalists is standard practice in any business, though commentators like Ray Chesterton, rugby league writer at Sydney's Daily Telegraph, think Russell's star power is giving Souths an undeserved edge.
It's very hard when you're confronted with an Oscar winner over dinner to then go back to the office and write against his wishes.
Where would South be now, Russell, if he hadn't won the vote to take over?
I'm not sure. It was on the books, it didn't look very good.
Chesterton's not yet convinced the Russell and Peter show is the right thing for Souths.
No one's ever come in and won a premiership by spending money hand over fist and making it work in the same year. It just doesn't happen. We're talking long term, we're talking 5, 6 years, 7 years. Whether Russell and Holmes Court decide to hang around that long remains to be seen.
I've got $100 on me.
The publicity's working. The players' first recovery session is wall-to-wall cameras. The team trains full-time, 30 hours a week. Fitness and skills are a priority. But remaining injury-free is high on the agenda.
We're going to need a bit of space between you.
Yeah, they had really a horror run with injuries, and lots of their playing roster was off on the sideline. It's important for me that doesn't happen, because you can't have success with most of your playing roster on the sideline. So is this extras for you boys, or what?
Just extras.
Just where's the rest of the guys who really need the extras? That's what I want to know.
Errol Alcott spent 19 years conditioning the world champion Australian cricket team. But a phone call from Russell Crowe convinced him it was time for a change.
From my perspective with him and South, he wanted someone to go in, have a look around, see what you can do. What do you reckon? Will you jump ship?
I think still now our principal and most important signing has been Errol Alcott. You bring a guy like Errol from a winning culture like Australian cricket, and the more simplistic among us say, what's cricket got to do with rugby league? But that's not the question. The question is having the mindset to win.
Errol had helped rehabilitate Russell after the actor damaged his shoulder during preparations for his film Cinderella Man.
When he came to Erskineville Oval and he saw the conditions at the first grade of training, and his eyebrows just leapt, right into his beautifully combed hair,
Seen as a coup for Souths, Errol came on board in 2006 before the appointment of coach Jason Taylor. He outfitted Urco with a rec room and facilities necessary for the bodies and minds of elite sportsmen.
You need to have a close dynamic going on between all the players that take the field. Preparing Souths now are all about that, trying to provide this culture, this best practice management environment where, we care for the players. I think they perceive that. I think they know that we're trying to do our best to get them as well prepared as possible. Rugby league, it's a game of attrition, so it's very physical. It's a very hard game.
Roy just had a bit of a knock on the front of the hip. Says he's got a bruise over the bone, but because a lot of the muscles attached through there, he just can't run through that pain. So I've just put a local anaesthetic injection in there, and that'll just let him run through without getting any pain.
It really annoys me that people think that some sports people are overpaid, because I believe they deserve it, 100%. And until they can take a walk in a professional footballer's shoes for a week, they can't really have an opinion on it, really, in my eyes.
It's basically a game where the players are involved in mini car crashes for most of the game, 80 minutes. And I still don't think we know yet, from a scientific understanding anyway, of actually how much musculoskeletal damage occurs during that 80 minutes of play.
And that's what the fans want to see, though.
Yeah, that's it. That's what they pay to come see, and that's what we get paid to do, so everything goes around nice and rosy.
At the second game of the season, they secure a second win.
Just pump them up, mate. It's great stuff. What about Derek from South Sydney? They're in the first second kick. And pulled a bunny out of the hat. They're 2 from 2 to start 2007.
First couple wins we got just changed the area totally. Everywhere you go, you see South gear, South hats, jumpers, and it's great for the community.
All good in the hood, bro.
Honestly, I feel like we've been playing together for fucking 2 years.
There's a state of mind here now where we go out every week and we expect to win every game that we play. It's just hard to put the finger on just how good the feeling is at the moment compared to how it has been in the past. The thing is about it too, it's only going to get better. This is just the start of the rise in South Sydney.
We're back on the map again. Everything's been great. People are pulling us up in the street and telling how good work we do. It's great for your self-confidence. It's great for to be involved with.
Ultimately, whatever I feel in terms of pressure, I look in the faces of those players when they're playing a game. I see how they get damaged. I see the blood, I see them covered in mud from top to toe, and, the intricate patterns of how freshly cut grass will stick to their skin. I see how deeply they have to breathe to get the next mouthful of oxygen or lungful of oxygen. And whatever I'm doing, it's nothing on that. If they're willing to fight that hard, then I'm willing to fight that hard too.
Final seconds, and that will be it. South Sydney won 3 games only in 2006. They have started 2007 with 3 successive victories. They are the real deal.
I was scared I was going to wake up and it was all just a dream. So the great thing about it is, it makes you proud that you fought. We had to fight to get Peter and Russell in. And people criticise, what happens if they lose interest? What happens if that? But the great thing about the right thing's been done. Souths are a punters team. They're going to finally, as time goes by, be more successful. And who knows, my son who's 13 may see South win a comp. How good would that be?
There's something special about this team. We worked hard as a team, and mate, we come away with a good, hard-earned victory.
Souths are so thrilled they give the boys another part of their uniform, the home game white hoodie.
There's a win, you earn your hoodie, so pretty stoked.
Most teams would make a triumphant appearance at their leagues club after a game. Not Souths. They stopped regular leagues club appearances soon after Peter and Russell took over the club in 2006. But a few dozen fans still raise a glass at Rabbitoh's headquarters. This night is, for some, bittersweet. It's the last day of trading before the controversial redevelopment begins.
Pretty sad because we usually, if they're playing away, we usually come down to here. We usually travel about half an hour from where I live to come here and watch them. So we're going to have to find somewhere else.
There was nothing greater than to go back to South's Leagues Club after a victory and see them cheer the players as they came up the escalators. They'd line the escalators. These are people that not all of them have a lot of things in life to cheer about. But to see their heroes, and they are their heroes, they're the modern day gladiators, and they come back with a victory back into their territory. There's something that we all loved, and it gave us hope. It gave our kids hope.
The fans also have a victory song. It's been a long time since the regulars have chanted "Glory, Glory" with this much gusto. South's 3-game winning streak has exceeded all expectations for new coach Jason Taylor.
Everything's about the change room after the match. We work hard all week to win so you can sing that song. That's why I do it. It's a great feeling. There's nothing like the winning dressing room. Even now I don't play anymore, I'm still one of the last ones out because I just like that feeling. Once you walk out of there, it's sort of, you start talking and thinking about next week, but while you're in that dressing room after a win, that's the best part of rugby league, in my opinion.
A former player who still holds the record as the game's highest goal scorer, he was handed the reins of the Parramatta Eels side midway through 2006 when they were second last. He oversaw their unprecedented run of wins all the way to the semi-finals.
I'd be assuming the attitude around here now will be, as long as you get the goal, you can take as long as you like.
Now, there's been coaches in the past that have been great communicators and not had much of an idea about football. I think you need a mixture of both. And JT's, he's great communicator with the boys because he's not long out of the game himself. He knows what the culture's like. He knows what the attitude of the players are like. And, he was one of those guys with, at times, had his back against the wall and just had to fight out of there. And it's been great for all of us because those experiences, he can help us through.
The whole game here today is about us lifting up our intensity and our energy.
While calm and collected for his players, in the coach's box on game day, it's a different story.
Come on, where's the chase? We need a rocket here. Is this a style for us? Let's off those stupid penalties. We're like under 7 sometimes. Going around here. He dropped it. Dropped it. Johnny. Me. Now, I've always said it's the greatest way to emphasise something. If I say you're not playing so well, or I say you're not playing so well, it's just, it adds something to it. There's a lot of, it's this a serious question?
What is serious is the team training on the eve of their 4th-round clash against one of the heavyweight clubs of the league, Canterbury Bulldogs. Nerves have set in. They're struggling with a basic passing drill.
Let's just get the concentration up, okay? Just yourself, just switch on, watch the ball in your hands. It's a bit slippery. Just get them good for the next couple of catches. Don't concentrate on anything else but catching it clean, and you'll be right. We'll have these little days. Let's just pick it up. Let's go.
Jamin Lowe has yet to play in the first-grade side this year. His only chance of getting a run is at the expense of his teammates.
It's funny, it's a dog-eat-dog world, really, because, as much as you want the team to be doing well as well, you obviously, personally, you want to be in there. So if you do hear an injury, you hope that they get over it, but if they don't, then you're stoked if you get a call-up, of course. Yeah.
Only a week before, Lowe had just finished a full reserve-grade game when first-grade regular Dean Widders pulled his neck in the warm-up.
It hurts.
You've got to miss it. Tell us about 5 minutes to make a decision.
Do you want to go out, warm up?
Go and throw the ball around.
Widders insisted on playing. Lowe has to wait for another chance.
If you play reserve grade and someone gets hurt, you just got to step up again.
So you just played a full game of footy?
Yeah, about 70 minutes. It would have earned me money tonight, I think, if I had got a run.
Turn the camera off because we're going to take some gears. We have a beer now, what? Beer at 5? Knock off?
With the Leagues Club now closed, gutting the building is in full swing.
The Leagues Club has to get to the point where it's making enough money to supply the football club with funds. So instead of seeing it as a white elephant, we came in and we saw it as an opportunity. Here's a big, vast, empty building right next to the CBD. Rents are going crazy in Sydney because people need space to run their offices and their businesses and all that sort of stuff. All we've got to do is refurbish this building, bring this building back to life.
This will be the front of a supermarket in an area where there are no supermarkets, where there's only convenience stores, where a packet of nuts that big costs $9. Desperately in need of a supermarket, and this ground floor is the perfect place for it. It's got a long way to go.
A supermarket on the bottom, with the Leagues Club and Football Club sharing the floor above. Then another 3 floors available for commercial leasing. But even with the best of intentions, the new owners are having a hard time convincing their critics.
There's no other football club in the town that has just 1 floor, maybe 2, but possibly 1, and the rest of it just taken up with corporate space. Can't see how that will work particularly well. And you're also, what I find a bit abhorrent, is that people will be going there to shop, presumably at Woolworths in the supermarket, and they're only a short elevator ride away from poker machines. And knowing the temptation they can bring, you wonder if that will then erode the pay dockets they take to Woolworths to buy food and so sustain themselves. I think that's a real worry. I think that's a terrible reflection on the way this place has gone.
With a huge build-up in the press all week, the clash of the Rabbits versus the Bulldogs has drawn a record crowd. It's the kind of hype that Bulldogs player and former South junior Rennie Matua believes can distract a team.
I think they've been in the media a little bit more than they should have. I suppose it might be good for the investors and whoever puts in money into the club for their perspective, but for a team's perspective. Seeing them in the media all the time, it does fire you up, you know. It does make you a target.
Fireworks and fanfare set the occasion, though not everyone gets to join in the spectacle.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because big game as well, big game, Friday night footy, all that sort of stuff, so back to reserve grade. So just go home, prepare for another game tomorrow, that's all we've got to do. Sweet.
See you, mate.
As he heads back to the dressing room, many of his teammates will soon be wishing they could join him.
Good performance by South, but the Dogs have been doing this for ages, putting you in your place.
It's a bruising display by the Bulldogs. At half-time, David Kidwell tries to motivate his teammates.
It's how we respond to this, eh?
Against a team renowned for their punishing play, Souths lose 34-10.
We'll get another shot. Right, so let's make sure you're not feeling sorry for yourself and wanting to jump off the Harbour Bridge tonight. Let's stop raving on about us now anyway. It'd be nice just to go cruising along and worry about ourselves and not have a 15 journey to training every day. But how we bounce back from this will be big, alright?
It's the Easter weekend, so the team have an extra rest day. For many, it's an opportunity to spend valuable time with family away from the spotlight. For South's co-captain David Kidwell, the celebrations will be short-lived.
Yeah, I was just, barbecue at home, playing with my kids. And my eldest daughter I was just sort of passing the footy, she's dropped it. I get the ball, pass it back down to her, thinking my little one was inside. Sort of stepped back. As I've stepped back, I've sort of fallen, and I've tried not to land on her, and sort of went back in sort of like a 45 degree. She's underneath my leg, basically crack, I heard it crack, and I thought I broke my leg.
Immediately after the freak accident, Kidwell told the bad news to Errol Olcott.
I could just tell the desperation in his voice. He had this he's normally pretty, cool, laid back and matter of fact, and yeah, it wasn't a stutter, but he was, sort of half getting it out and not half getting it out, and yeah, it was devastating. That's what it was.
What's the story with the cat?
Oh, it's just a lucky cat, mate. That hopefully won't give me the results that I don't want to look for, but. It's just, something I've got to hold on to, mate.
The extent of Kidwell's injury is soon confirmed. He requires a full knee reconstruction. South's co-captain and one of their key signings for 2007 is out for the season.
Yeah, pretty shattering, mate, but, there's worse people off in the world than me, and luckily it's fixable, and hopefully the guys can hold the fort and make the semis and maybe give me a chance to play again this year. You've seen of us, earlier this year, I'm fully confident that the boys can carry it on.
With where we're at, it's very disappointing for us and very disappointing for David, and we'd love to be seeing him run out here today. But everybody's confident that we can keep going in a strong fashion.
South's next encounter is played in unseasonably warm weather. With the loss of co-captain Kidwell, Jamin Lowe finally gets his call into first grade. Roy Asatasi steps up to the captaincy.
We all got to work hard. We've got to work for each other. Talk is important.
In a game where they're tipped to win, things don't go their way. Souths lose yet another player. Yleen Gordon, a talented junior, breaks his ankle in the opening minutes of the match. They lose by 1 point to the Newcastle Knights.
This is the NRL, boys. Tough. See how it goes. What I'm trying to say to you here is nothing's over. Disappointed, yeah. Have a shower, dust ourselves off, get out of here, get ourselves going again.
It's going to be a long season. Next week on Southside Story, off-field, it's all fun and laughs.
Between you and him, all the cash is gone out of the club. Now, what the rest of us are going to do if we need some money?
It's time to spoil the party.
On-field, it's heartbreak. The harsh realities of running a football team sink in.
Anyone who really wants to beat us will beat us.
I see the same thing, you're off.
What a waste.
A day at the office, rugby league star. At 33, David Peachey is one of the oldest players in this young man's game. And he's celebrating a milestone fitting his veteran status.
Alrighty.
250 first-grade games.
We've turned this whole team around to be in this competition, knowing that South Sydney ain't going to be easy boots. And I suppose that's probably the biggest difference from last year to this year, is that there's that self-belief, that self-confidence, knowing that when we go into a game, we're a chance of winning.
South Sydney has not beaten the Warriors since 1999. In fact, the last time these two teams met in Australia, it was a 66-0 drubbing, the biggest loss in the Rabbitohs' history.
Water bottles.
We're underway at Telstra Stadium, NRL Sunday.
Peach and Joe have had a haircut for the game.
Was holding on to him. Here's Smith with a kick. Peachey! And 250 couldn't get there. He almost got there.
There are 16 teams in the National Rugby League competition, including the New Zealand Warriors.
Talk is the key, Dirty. Start talking more to each other.
The ultimate aim is to be among the top 8 best teams at the end of the 25-game season, and then go into the finals playoffs to decide the premier team of the year.
That's it. Come on, boys. Try and catch him. Pass. Back to Joe Williams. And over in the corner goes Michael Mayer. Yeah, baby. Get in there. It is half-time here at Telstra Stadium.
Half-time, Souths are well in the game, but Peachey is finding the going tough.
Let's just think about this. Defence is what wins games for us, okay? Defence is what wins games for us, and we need to start with good talk. Come on, let's get that going.
Offside again now. Look, they're all in front of you, ref.
Well, their goal line defence this year has been absolutely outstanding, the Rabbits.
Here's Fiend. Witt, intercept. Here he goes.
They're not going to catch him.
And Nathan Merritt, who can score a try, will level up.
Yes! You got it, bro.
I'm loving every bit of it. It's a good feeling in the club.
What an afternoon we've had here at Telstra Stadium. Can you believe it?
You got to check the radio ref on that one.
With just 3 minutes to go, the Warriors have to score twice to win.
Still enough time for the Warriors if they can score off this set, basically.
Arm three. Here's McKinnon in the space.
He's coming for you. He's coming for you.
Pass Peachey. He's away. Can he get away from Irvine? He can.
That all kicking the fucking ball on the sixth tackle.
South's comfortable lead just became an uncomfortable margin, and there's just a minute to go.
End of the game, you would think. Last opportunity here for the Warriors.
Down, for God's sake, put them down!
Now comes to win. Here's the chase. Burns on his own. Todd Byrne. Todd Byrne. Todd Byrne. What a game. The Warriors have come from behind and beat the Rabbitohs 18 points to 16.
Waste. Waste.
How do we feel? Do we feel like we should have won the game? We deserve to get beat. We don't know how to finish a game off, boys. I know that you guys are going to be disappointed with what I'm about to say here, but you wear the number 7. You're in charge, you too, Jezza. On last tackle, we're up by 8 and we're running the ball in their end. That's South last year. If you want to play like South last year, you're not going to be in the fucking team. I know this is hard, but we've got to learn it. It's on again on Friday, and we've got to learn it. I send a message out. Daryl goes to Joey and says, kick it into touch. The reason I was as aggressive as I was, I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood why we lost that game and that we need to learn from that. And we're going to lose games like that again, but that one was, you know, that was criminal. We're a better team than that, and we're going to be a better team than that. We all need to take responsibility, and we all need to help him. You know, you blokes in here, this team have been around a long time. And regardless of what the plan is, once you get to that position where there's 10 minutes to go and you're winning by 8, kick the fucking thing dead, anywhere. Make it a stoppage, get the ball back. All right.
All these boys want to win. Make no mistake about that. Everyone wants to win. But sometimes your ambitions are thwarted by the ambitions of others.
Winning games is only part of the pressure in the New Souths. Not only do players have to perform well on the field, off the field, each individual's earning potential is being scrutinised by the owners.
But I do reckon they're right. You do have to have a salary cap for X amount of players. I mean, that's fine. I agree to that as long as we get a little bit of headroom.
Rugby league clubs operate under a salary cap, a system designed to ensure clubs can't buy a team of premium players.
That's a big thing. The salary cap's pretty simple. It's a $4 million cap that you've got to fit 25 players in, and you get to adjust those players however you like, providing you pay the minimum guy $50,000.
Souths have no issue with the salary cap, but they do take issue with NRL restrictions on the amount of money players are allowed to earn through sponsorship and endorsements.
But that's bullshit that these players can't get that until they finish playing the games. So Joey Williams should be, when he goes up to talk about his experience in Indigenous games, he should be getting $5,000 for turning up to talk for an hour after dinner.
They believe they'll be able to attract new players by giving them opportunities to earn money outside their football commitments, allowing them to exploit what's known as their intellectual property, or IP.
The least known guy, right, in a winning squad has still got further earning potential.
Our players are the most powerful force we've got to sell this game. People don't want to see overweight CEOs on TV. They want to see Roy Asotasi and Nigel Vagana and our young players. And we stifle what they can actually gain in the marketplace for their own personal IPs.
I've got this idea, and I think I've discussed it with you, we do theatrical headshots for all the guys. Make them up really nicely. Bango headshot, torso shot. And we get them all an agent. Right? They get guys Calvin Klein ads just because how they look. They get them on whatever the product happens to be, just because of the way they look, not the fact that they're a rugby league club. Right? See, that fits in with what you can do, right?
For the first time at any club, the players now have a speaker's agent and a theatrical agent. The men of Souths are now much more than simply footballers. They've even got their own TV channel.
No, Rabbits fans, it's not Petro Sivanasiva, it's our own man mounting up the middle, Manasi Menikafoa.
Dean Widder's gift of the gab seemed a natural fit for footy TV.
Between you and him, all the cash is gone out of the club now, and you know what the rest of us are going to do if we need some money.
He's the first on-air personality in another Souths venture, SSFC TV, a web TV channel dedicated to everything Souths.
I hear that the fans, the number one thing they'd like to see happen is for you to get a new hairdo.
You know, it's been really good fun, and Russell's taught me a lot in the area already, and you know, how to look good, how to start to be always smiling when you're talking, and you know, how to say the right things and what sort of moods to be in. You know, it's always a lot of fun when you look over and you see Russell Crowe standing there.
So I thought I'd get down and have a relaxed chat with our front row, Scott Geddes, the man who's got the biggest muscles in the club.
Back in the studio, in reality, a closet in Russell's home, this week's episode gets the work over.
And just can't go to him on big boots to fill. But if it's to advertise, and the music too, man. It's got to be something more exciting than that. It's just this endless dun 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 that never really goes anywhere.
It's a report having a dig at match commentators' pronunciation of players' names.
A lot of people think it's logo, but it's Longo, Fa'alongo. Instead of Azatazi, it's Asutasi.
I think a lot of the problem comes from the G. A lot of people, you know, think it's G, but it's like a silent N before it. Nigel Vangana.
Jeremy Smith.
And then there's Ralph. In reality, Dean Widder's alter ego, an Aboriginal character who talks the talk but is incapable of walking the walk required of a first-grade player.
Can you hear me, Ralph? I can't hear you, mate. Are you there? Can you hear me? I'm here. I said I'm here. This fellow went to try to ignore me. I'm here.
Dean's using comedy, in this case stereotyping an Aboriginal rugby league know-it-all, to address racism issues in Australia.
Getting fit, man, you know, getting fit, not really staying off the grog that much, but drinking less, you know. I'm on the light beers now. Only drink them in sunlight. Anyway.
I'd love to be involved with, you know, politics when I finish playing rugby league, because I want to help people and I want to make a stance for Indigenous people in this country. And it's not about going in there and saying black's right and white's wrong or anything. It's more about creating a better understanding between both parties.
Tell Rich I have my contract ready.
Ralph may be a joke around South Sydney, but race relations aren't. Already, Dean's been stopped and questioned by police right outside Urco just for being black.
I was pulled over just a couple of weeks ago and he didn't have any reason why he wanted to, and he was just sort of went on the front foot with us and was real aggressive in his tone about, you know, just give us your names and stuff like that, and knowing my rights, I thought I wasn't going to just give my name over straight away, and we kept asking him, why does he want to know our name and what have we done wrong? But he didn't give us any answers and just sort of kept his aggressive approach towards it all, and I'm, you know, hoping that it's just a one-off and it won't happen again, and that this guy's probably won out.
But Peter Holmes-A-Court has decided not to let the Widders incident rest. He feels the players need reassurance that the owners are colourblind.
That incident where, you know, police are asking questions that they really shouldn't have been, you know, it's just ridiculously insensitive. Now, what we'll do with that is we've got an opportunity now to engage at the highest levels of the police department, and let's start to do some sensitivity training. Let's start to say that your policemen have got to stop acting that way.
South Sydney has the highest Indigenous urban population in Australia. South's player roster reflects this, and Souths are keen to promote it.
Drop the legs down, you're a bit, yep.
It's starting to feel exciting. It's starting to feel that, you know, we're breaking down the race issues, that we can get a bunch of white guys, black guys, Islander, together, and we can achieve something. We can achieve something in terms of discipline, attitude, work rate, work ethic, and do that with a diverse group of people.
Big smile, hands in the air.
As Dean Widder says, you know, we're going to change the country. We're going to change the country doing this.
Souths are also trying to create understanding between playing and coaching staff. A key component is senior players mentoring their younger colleagues.
Like a big brother system, I think. It's just like, sort of like that. you got problems or something at home, you can just talk to the core players about it, and they can speak to the coaching staff, all that kind of stuff like that.
It's just staying on top of it before things get out of hand and we have problems, you know what I mean?
Nigel Vunganar came and spoke to me right from the start. Nigel's line was, we want to call it the core, because he didn't want them to be seen as above the others. He wanted them to be seen at the heart of it.
You look at Peach, you look at Nige, you look at Pete Cusack, Dino, those sort of guys, they're always first to training, they're always last to leave, they're always doing their work. You know, younger guys look at that and want to be like that.
All we have to do is create a core. Create a core and make that core radiate a certain compelling belief system, and then other people will be compelled by it.
Yeah, but breaking up training regimes motivates players to produce winning results in a long football season.
Oh, is that Oopa Loopa?
So the trainers create a synchronised swimming challenge judged by local lifeguard Rachel.
We've got Rachel here as our guest judge, so make sure you impress her.
It's all fun and laughs in the pool, but it's winning that counts.
Last thing, last week we talked about stuff at half time and then we got away with it. Got away from it. This is it. If you play for each other, trust the process, the result will look after itself. Let's do it for another 40.
But the results aren't looking after themselves. South's losing streak continues.
Lockyer is inside it. Hagen's come out.
What are they doing?
Hodges gets it on. Then Darius Boyd. The Broncos 8. The Rabbitohs 4.
It's a great test. It's what we all play for. Get out there, throw it at them. Throw it at them.
Chalkers racing away from Vunganar, and they will score Canberra. It's come from nothing.
Put hands at court, Russell Crowe. Someone better grab him. He's on the way down to jump, is he? Someone grab him. That's the end of the game. And the Rabbitohs again. They've let one slip, and they've now lost 3 in a row.
They're steadily falling down the competition ladder.
Prince stepping, takes them on himself. Scotty Prince and gets himself a double.
We should be getting in here and bashing ourselves up. All we got to do is get up, get out of here, get ourselves going again for Friday night.
A little bit of feeling in this one. Inglis. Oh, how good is that? They're victorious over South Sydney, 26 points to 10.
Either this is going to toughen us up in ways that we could never have expected, or this is going to kill us. It's very serious. It's not a joke.
Eric does well and finds Jamin Lowe.
2 more players are also sidelined. Jamin Lowe loses his cool when a game is in the balance.
Here to Bacon back play, and he's going to cost his side any chance of winning the game, and he should be sent from the field. That was extraordinary.
I said the same thing, you're off.
Jamin Lowe sent from the field.
Walking off the field, like I was gutted, like not so much about what had happened or anything like that, but just that I'd let all the boys down. Like that's what hit me the hardest at the time. Like JT just sort of, you know, said what happened. I told him and I just broke down. That was my biggest heartbreak, was that I'd let so many people down.
And heartbreak when John Sutton makes a match-winning dive for the ball.
I've never seen a finish like this ever. Well, John Sutton, he's clutching his shoulder.
Sutton's dislocated his shoulder, and to add insult to his injury, the try is disallowed.
It's this one. Yeah, that's what I see. Feels like it's at the back there.
Just drop that.
Keep going.
Deep breath.
The medics have no choice but to force his shoulder back into place.
So I'll take a step back, we've got to come ashore. Slide back, slide back. So can you feel over there, mate?
What?
Can you feel that? You touching it?
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it, don't you?
There you go. Okay, let's keep your hands still. Okay, just got to keep it in nice and tight there.
Relax, man.
Come back down.
That feels heaps better.
Let's go.
It's in place. Not stretching anymore. Come over with him and score.
No, it was really misleading what happened early in the year and the way we won those first 3 games and looked so strong. It just made everybody think that this is easy, and this isn't easy. It's enormously tough.
The losing streak and loss of players is taking its toll. What they need is a win. For that, Russell's come up with another motivational tool. History.
Book of Feuds is a project that started in August last year when I got an email from Russell Crowe, which was really exciting because I'd only met Russell Crowe once, and that was in a line. I lined up to say hello to him, as you do. But he knew of me because of my book that I wrote a few years ago about South, being a South supporter.
Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
So Russell said, it'd be good if you could write the history of our feud with each club. 100 years of bitterness, 100 years of struggle. Every time we've beaten them on the bell, every player they stole from us, every game, every referee that cheated us out of this, whatever, every great victory we've had.
Now here's the thing, boys. You can never, ever forget how they treated us with contempt. Utter contempt.
If it started off the wrong way, the young blokes would have probably made a joke of it and just gone, well, geez, is this how we're rolling here at South Sydney?
It's pretty theatrical, as it would be. Russell Crowe's reading it, and then we got this big book, and he opens it up and blows the dust off the page.
And we'll never ever forget how they thought the game of rugby league was just perfectly fine without the South Sydney Rabbitohs.
Just seeing the passion in Russell's eyes, it's one of those things, it rubs off on you, and just his enthusiasm for everything that he has to do with South.
They tried to take our birthright, tried to take our sacred place in the game.
I don't know, we just sort of sit there in awe of him half the time, so coming from him, it's a pretty special sort of thing.
It probably comes from realising that some of our players just didn't know who Souths were. I suppose later on, when our culture is stronger and we can use stronger language, then it comes down to, you know, the reasons to go to war. Our blood should boil every time we run on to play.
And I mean, having David Kidwell do one of the Book of Feuds, I think was, you could feel the warmth in what he was talking about.
The New Zealand Warriors. We have played this team 16 times.
For me, it's bloody exciting because I get to go along and stand in the corner of the dressing room and hear the players get read my stuff. It's really exciting. And I get to, you know, work with Russell Crowe. I'm starstruck. It's great.
So listen to your coach, focus your thoughts. It's time to spoil the party. Book of Feuds is closed.
The party they need to spoil is against the Penrith Panthers. South's losing streak is starting to hurt.
Straight line in defence. Communication. Talk to each other.
No side this year in the NRL has lost more than 5 in a row. So maybe the drought will break for South Sydney tonight.
So Johnny and Dino, make sure we've got good shape because there's only 3 in the middle.
An attacking kick at the end of this set is Winners. He tries it. He's got Mellor going through. They won't stop it. Well, that's so easy. It was just like opening up a packet of chips. possible conditions we've had this season.
On the ruck, you edges talk to each other. Nige, I'm going in, so you stay. You know what I mean? Jules, you talk to Nate, I'm going in, you stay. Hold some shape for us. And when we kick the ball, chase it. Doesn't matter who you are.
Keep working hard. Work hard, hang in there regardless of what's happening.
You wouldn't think South Sydney should lose from here. Back to Rogers. He decides to go high this time. This is going to come down short of the goal line. Wes is there. Wes has lost it. He's dropped it. Rabbitohs are right there, Devon. It's a try. It's a nest by the Bunnies. Peachy's got it. Look at the fans. Look at them. They deserve medals. And their team has got their first win in half a dozen weeks.
Everyone now will start to believe, yes, we were right, what we're doing is right, and we're heading in the right direction. It's a great feeling.
Hey boys, we're going to stand here. We're going to stand here and give you a sort of big sermon about what a great job and how this was good and that was good, and you know we can learn from this and that. But you've heard too much from me over the last few weeks. Let's just sing the song.
The way we came through a 5-game losing streak was to me the highlight of the season. The way we reacted to that, the way everybody stuck together, the way the staff, you know, from the top right the way down, the way we showed, well, this is how this club now are going to handle the setbacks and disappointments.
Next on Southside Story, can South throw off an 18-year-long drought? Are the Rabbits on a run all the way to the finals?
If there was no Souths in your life right now,
Feet up on the table, having a margarita. Oh, yeah, nice and relaxed.
Yeah. You want to go to the footy on Saturday night?
Yeah, Pete.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, we're not think about whether the drummers are drumming in time, not thinking about the colours and the uniforms in the dressing rooms. Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
It's the hardest thing that I think I've ever done in my life.
Winning and losing is the public side of owning a football club. Every weekend, Russell Crowe and Peter Holmes are courted just like any other fans, living the minute-by-minute highs and lows of sport. But the measure of success for Souths will be whether these two men have justified their actions to the 75% of members who voted yes to privatisation, and proved wrong the 25% who voted no. Have they created a winning and financially successful club?
What happens is there's guys who you see that they got problems and you work on them with stuff, and 2 years later they're still making the same errors.
In the back rooms of Souths, the private business of player transfers is proving a new test. Just 2/3 through the 2007 season, and the harsh reality of being hands-on owners hits home.
20 players in the 250. Yeah. This is sending me grey, man, you know. I mean, that natural thing I have of caring means I've now taken 34 other lives into my own life. You know, apart from my family and my friends and my true work life of making feature films and stuff like that, I now have, you know, an intimate relationship with these other 34 guys, plus the coaching staff, plus the admin staff, you know.
Managing Souths for future success means some of those 34 lives that have become almost family to Russell and Peter need to be cut to accommodate new players.
You've got a salary cap, it's $4 million, so you can't spend more than that. You've got to have 25 players underneath that cap. You know, it's your choice of who you buy. Everybody knows that we're coming from a very transparent and clean place, and it's all about the club. And ultimately, whatever our individual desires are, everything still turns back to the mothership and what's good for South Sydney.
The club has its eyes on Craig Wing, a former Souths player now with their rivals.
And when he came to us, he spent the first 25 minutes talking about his desire to return to us. He outlined what he thought
a public opinion thing, if that would be, and positive things for the club. He was very, very passionate about that core idea. And then he said to us, has any of this ever been communicated to you?
But to afford him, some hard decisions have to be made.
I've done all the nice things that you can do with him. There's no one who's been nicer than I've been. But if you really want to get rid of somebody, you've got to be not nice.
And there's going to be tough days. Yesterday was a tough day. You sit down and you talk to a player, and you talk to him about his future and all that, And that's a real man with a wife and kids and his own individual hopes and dreams. And you have to explain to that person that, as much effort as you might be putting in, it's not enough.
It's not known yet which players will be leaving, but the Craig Wing deal is sealed.
He said, when I left in 1999, I said that, if South gets back in the competition, I'll come back and play for South. All you have to do is ask. But it's been 8 years now and nobody's asked. And there was a little bit of silence, and I said, Craig, would you like to come play for South Sydney? And he said yes.
After 8 years away from Souths, this world-class player is coming home in 2008. The other clubs may think Souths are hogging the limelight, but they're intently watching the business model. Because Russell and Peter have set in motion plans to increase its revenue by $4 to $5 million a year.
I'm still investing in this club. I've loaned this club additional $2 million. But this year, it's not giving it away. It's so they can take on the redevelopment of the Leagues Club. So when does this come out? It's so they can develop the merchandise business and grow that business.
We paid $3 million to take over the responsibility of paying the debts. And now we're actually trying to put bricks and mortar underneath the football club, so the football club is secure in the future and ongoing, and the football club itself, with what it owns, earns money to run itself.
So far, the plan is working.
And the Legends Lounge and the Churchill Room next door are proudly sponsored by our new major partners, BlackBerry.
Merchandise and game attendance are near double previous levels. Sponsorship is at record highs, but still needs to increase $2 million on 2007 levels. The new owners clearly believe the old regime never appreciated the true value of the club. But they're not in the black yet. What's also a challenge is to be amongst the top 8 teams at the end of the season. For only those 8 can play off to be the #1 team of the year.
I think if the team goes really well, then Russell and Peter will deserve some credit. So will I. If the team goes really bad, they'll cop more flack than me.
For Souths, business may be good, but a sound management plan doesn't excite the passions of either fans or the press. Only a winning team can do that. And so far, the Rabbitohs have had too many close calls. Mid-season, the team is falling short of comfortably achieving the playoffs. They need to win games. Meanwhile, the backroom manoeuvrings to cement next year's player roster continues.
It's a little overwhelming, but I think in any sportswoman's career, this point does come. I didn't want it to come, but
Veteran David Peachey is talked into retirement and will finish his days in reserve grade. Long-term South stalwart Paul Mellor volunteers to retire. Early season hero Joe Williams suffers from the team's mid-season slump and is asked to seek another team.
It is the worst time of the year. It's just a terrible time because you're telling players they haven't got a future at the club. You're telling players you moved on. You're telling players you can't give them more money in the cap. Some people will always not like you at this time of the year. I think Russell and Peter finally come to grips with that.
We're going to go over and do the pre-light at Pellegrini. I'll probably then drop down to the second venue. I was thinking with the dinner at Lygon Street that we bypass that.
Player management extends beyond hiring and firing. Their every move is orchestrated as part of Russell's plan to lift them beyond the status of the Souths players of recent years and closer to his world. They strutted red carpets and were feted by international acts like Snoop Dogg. They played ball with the stars of America's top-rating cable program, American Chopper.
I thought it was pretty cool, Russell, to bring us over here to introduce us to the team, you know, and really take the time to get us involved.
Rule with an iron fist. You want to win this game, son? They were treated like visiting celebrities in cities outside Sydney, building profile, generating publicity.
I guess we're improving from last year, or the team's improving from last year. We're learning all the time, and the boys are showing each week that they're improving on what they did the week before.
Showing guys new things and taking them to places they haven't been before, making them think in ways that they hadn't thought of before, and making magic happen, you know, that hasn't happened before in their football lives. As time has gone through the season, I don't think there's anybody in our squad that misunderstands our intentions.
Then enemy territory, venturing to Melbourne, a city where rugby league is a minor sporting distraction. For Russell and Peter, this was a great opportunity to expose the Southern Capital's media to the game and their team.
Talking, laughing, some have got their ties down, some have got their jackets off. It's just whatever they do, you're shooting it from the moment that they come in, you know? Step number one is a happy squad who enjoy being in each other's company, and a team environment that other players want to join into. That's all we need to achieve this year, regardless of where we come on the competition table.
How long have you been married for? 5 years. You're over it, or you're still going strong?
Bonding and cohesion are what the new owners are achieving. But Coach JT knows the next step, winning games, is his part of the deal.
We got to a point where I felt pressure and a fair bit of stress, and it was in relation to Peter and Russell and just the extracurricular things that go on at South. Called Peter and had a bit of a chat with him about my role and basically what he said I needed to do, which was that I needed to be in charge of everything that happened. Can you do it? We can do it. He said, I need to be led, Russell needs to be led, we all need to know in which direction that we're going as a club, and you're the one who needs to take us there.
We accept that at a certain point, we recede into the shadows and the club just goes on and the club's successful and the club has a new culture and the club will look after itself.
With 5 rounds to go before the playoffs, Souths lose badly against last-placed Penrith.
Souths haven't been good enough tonight.
The prospect they'll slide out of finals contention is staring them in the face.
That one little section at the top of all this that we have no control over is what happens on the field. And ultimately, that's what it's about.
Winning is now the only option.
1989, the last time South Sydney won down here in Wollongong, and 10 straight they've lost to St George Illawarra.
The Souths and Saints feud is 86 years long.
Charge down Smith, can he get the bounce?
Souths are most remembered for ending St George's record run of 11 back-to-back premierships in 1967.
And the Rabbitohs have scored first. Crossfield kick for Miller, who takes it out of thin air.
The game also heralds the triumphant return of Yolene Gordon, out since round 5 with a broken ankle.
The Rabbitohs live to fight another day. Full time at WIN Stadium. South Sydney 24, the Dragons 14.
I think it's good for us to expect results because we have got the team here that can, you know, make that top 8. You know, if you finish in the top 4 or top 8, you're giving yourself a really good chance of doing some good stuff in the finals.
To worry about Manly.
3 rounds to go. Manly, a top-of-the-ladder team already tipped to win the competition. And Souths fans will never forget this club stealing their best players so it could become the dominant team in the 80s and 90s.
They respond when they've been challenged, South Sydney, and that's a good sign.
Jason Taylor, the coach, is very astute.
The players have got a lot of talent and they believe in the same thing, they believe in the same process, and if you have the power to believe and not doubt yourself, you can achieve anything.
Luke quickly from dummy half gets across the line.
Achieve is an understatement. From 18 to 6 down, an emphatic 24-18 victory.
And believe it or not, the Bunnies are in the top 8. Every Rabbitohs fan here tonight up on their feet celebrating at the moment.
I think that was a great example for us of persevering. Powered over him. We've got to remember that. You know, everyone, you've got to remember that over the next few weeks. When it's not going our way, let's just stick with what we're doing. If we try and change it, then it's not going to work.
To get over the top of a team as good as Manly, and they're a fine team, was fantastic for their own belief, for sure. You know, and they must have come off thinking, hell, you know, we beat Manly. Who can't we beat?
Every winter weekend for 18 years, Mark Courtney has packed his supporters' kit and, like other fans, headed to the game. For the first time in those 18 years, he now has reason to believe his team may make the finals.
All of a sudden, we're back on track, you know, and 2 games to go. Have to win 1, maybe 2. Still a great chance.
Courtney isn't just a fan. He's the author of the Book of Feuds. Next game is make or break against the West Tigers.
The last Book of Feuds, the last feud. And I have to say, this is a proper feud. Some have probably been maybe closer to big rivalries, but Tigers is a feud.
For 5 generations, these teams have argued about a 1909 grand final dispute which Souths won on forfeit. The Tigers will never let them forget.
Possibly a ground record crowd.
The team dominates every facet of the game.
With a fend and a surge and a jump, and he's over. Get out of my way, spin, in he goes. They've come to the Tigers' den, and they're sticking it to them.
They win 37-12, and losses by other teams in the same round mean the drought is broken.
Oh, this is great for Jason Taylor and for South Sydney. Suddenly they know how to score points.
After 18 years of struggle, heartbreak and hostility, they've made the finals.
Boys, pleasure to be the coach to you. Awesome effort. Awesome effort. He just came here and stuck to it. And it was just awesome. Let's sing a song.
The victory song has never sounded sweeter.
This squad that we have now, regardless of what else is facing them, they have the opportunity to create, you know, a one-time and 18-year level of history and always be remembered with great fondness by South fans because they broke that drought. They got the team into the finals. They don't have to go all the way. They don't have to, you know, in order for them to have achieved legendary status with South fans.
Last game of the 2007 season, 30,000 fans flocked to the spectacle knowing their team has defied the odds and made the semi-finals.
I'm loving every bit of it. It's a good feeling in the club. Everywhere you go you see South gear, South hats, jumpers, and it's great for the community.
Every first-grade player from years gone by is invited to share in South's modern-day glory.
I knew straight away we'd get some clout, we'd get some respect, and we'd have some aura about us, and that's what we're missing. I thought it was going to take several years for that actually to transform into results, but for it to happen the very year that they took over is just, it's unbelievable. It's a fairy tale, but we've seen fairy tales before in rugby league, and this could be a year.
Noticeably absent from the reunion are 2 key figures, legendary former South players John Sattler and George Piggins.
It's a shame I think that George couldn't make it. I think that would be a wonderful thing to wear the hats of the French words, and would be a fine opportunity for him to do that. So I'm sorry, I love George, so I play with George, and yeah, I think it's great, very emotional.
It's been a remarkable turnaround. Only 18 months earlier, many of these men had backed George's campaign against Russell and Peter. Now, they're paraded in support of the new regime, not George.
It's over for me. I've had a lot of good years there. I've enjoyed being a member of the South Sydney Football Club. The South Sydney Football Club as it stands now doesn't represent what I represent, so I'll move on.
I'm doing this for George, man. I'm doing it for John Sattler. They just don't realise it yet. Over time, they'll realise it. But this is about them. It's about them and their glory meaning something for the future, not dying away.
He's over there somewhere now. I'm going to try and find him.
Piggins has steadfastly refused to attend games of the club he was once synonymous with. Sattler's moved interstate, but he made it to one game. It was a chance Peter Holmes-a-Court wasn't going to let slip.
John Sattler is an icon for our club, is an icon for the game. To have him standing against us it's a bummer, it's a downer. It keeps us in the negative part of the past. It keeps us focused on the negative of the past, and we've got to move on from it.
Sattler is convinced he and his teammates became scapegoats for a losing club, and the new owners did little to dispel that.
Mate, in a great degree, I'm in complete agreement with you. What went on at that vote was unacceptable. We didn't do enough. Totally agree. We know we've got to make changes in the club, and we know we're going to take some time. So, and I don't think I've done everything perfectly, throughout the time I've been there. We'll be judged by our actions and what we do from this point onwards, and we will take action against those people who act in that way. We're here to help a football club be a winning club again. We're here busting our gut to do everything to make it a winning football team. And because our methods differ from other people, they have an incredible, deep and rich resentment of that. And I have no experience with knowing how to understand that or predict that and when it will go away, if it'll ever go away.
The last round won't affect South's historic march to the finals. Mark Courtney implores those members who've strayed to come back to the fold.
I just feel that's very, very sad that anyone who's a South person isn't on board what's happening, because it's bloody exciting. For them, it's no longer Souths. And I say, come to a game. Come to a game and sit there. And I dare you not to feel it when that red and green jersey runs out on the field.
And listen to this reception.
I dare you to sit there and tell me I feel nothing, because that's bullshit.
He blows time on, the Rabbitohs get us underway.
Peter Holmes-a-Court is the only owner in the box for this game. All year, Russell Crowe has assumed a dominant position at the stadium, but his work as an actor has finally got in the way of his role as an owner. He watches the game from his Hollywood hotel room. It's a disappointing scoreline in a match that doesn't count. History will only remember that Souths have made the playoffs at last.
Next week, just knuckle down and start playing some footy.
We're sudden death now. Very disappointing.
And we got smashed by our arch enemies, which hurt us. But in saying that, the overwhelming picture for 2007 is, are we proud about our team? Yes, we are. Souths have emerged from being a laughingstock to being a team that's respected by not just the punters, but the players.
We're trying to create a culture here of a team that works hard, plays hard, does everything together and has a really strong spirit.
That spirit brought David Kidwell back to play despite being told he was out for the season.
This is why we came. We came here to make a better side. We came here to win. We came here to show you that we're going to play, with our hearts 100% every week.
There's nothing more. This is the game. This is the game. All right? It's about us.
football is sudden death. Souths have to win every game to progress to the grand final, Rugby League's version of the Super Bowl.
Rogers through. He glides through.
Their first game is against Manly, a team they overwhelmed just 3 weeks ago.
This is going to be a dangerous set of six for the Rabbitohs.
The game will be won by this team tonight if we can get to the end of our sets and kick the ball well. If we can get to the end of our sets and kick the ball well, you will come over the top of them. I can feel it. Can't you? You can see
the Rabbitohs attacking.
Joe Williams takes JT's halftime talk literally and sets the ball high into the arms of Paul Mellor.
Paul Mellor! He scores for the Rabbitohs! What a kick from Joey Williams!
And what a leap from Paul Mellor. There we go, the block.
Scores level. Souths begin the longest 35 minutes of the season.
The working man's team, they have been glorious this year.
The team fight hard, but can't stop the Manly machine.
The fullback's in again!
2007 is the year that South became a serious team again.
It was never going to be easy to put pay to the Rabbits.
The historic season is over.
It's been a rocky road for a number of years.
I think we'll look back, hopefully for many, many, many years on 2007 and say that's where this all began.
Everybody understands the story of the underdog. And that's what this story is.
Everyone, fans, everyone's so proud of
It's not easy at all, mate. And it's all, you know, it's a concept. It's a dream. And we'll know over time, because time is the greatest warrior, where this concept and this dream goes. You know. But I never start something with, it's impossible. Always start with, geez, wouldn't it be good if?